Well, here's some news for you. Trump, uh, Trump's executive order was to keep other countries from messing with our power grid has been suspended for 90 days. It was mainly targeted to China, but other countries as well. It's now been suspended for 90 days. So hopefully Biden didn't just leave us in a lurch for 90 days for anybody to get without any repercussions. But that's what it seems like. Here's the link to that, by the way. If you're interested. Uh, this could be a bad thing. Give 30 days without power and shut down the stores, you'd be in trouble. Everybody would be in trouble. So 90 days is not a good thing at all.
One of the fans on my computer is grinding so bad.
In 30 days, uh, without power. Hold on 1 second. 30 days without power, gas, or anything else would set this country into a chaotic, turmoiling mess worse than anything you've ever seen. Hey, Desert Goat, how are you, bud? And that would not be good. When you ain't able to buy your food at Winn Dixie, Tops, Walmart, whatever you're so used to doing, and you don't know how to get food any other way, which hundreds of thousands of people in this United States are in that boat. Uh, when several, uh, when you can go down the road and ask college kids where do chicken nuggets come from, and they say McDonald's. Where do hamburgers come from? They say Burger King. It ain't going to be pretty if it happens. So let's hope Biden didn't just screw us there. Guarantee you, the majority of these people do not have 30 days worth of food, even in their cabinet. They might have a week and a half, and have no knowledge how to gain food once their food runs out. They're going to get hungry. They're going to get hungry quick. Yeah, I agree with you on that, Desert Goat. That would be me as well. But we are a minority of people when it comes to that, Desert Goat. A big minority. Hey, Jason Goddett, how you doing, buddy? We are a big minority compared to the majority um, and then when it comes to actually implementing it, very few people have even tried to implement doing such things as that Desert Goat, to even know if they can actually comprehend or understand or even know if they're doing it properly or not. Uh, that's the whole scary part about it. There, Desert Goat. So I know you have. I know what you've done. Things like that. I've heard you speak. I know what I've done. I know what I can do. Uh, that's what this is right here. This scare 90 days, anybody can attack our power grid and do stuff to our power grid. And all that's scary, when it comes to people not knowing this stuff as we do. Desert Oak, and that's something definitely you need to take into account for. Uh, just to let you know, power grid, if it goes bye-bye 30 days, there's going to be chaos in the streets, literally. It won't be pretty, by no means. It will not be pretty. When people don't know how to get that fresh water or make fresh water, that would not be pretty. But people start dying of thirst, but you'll die of thirst quicker than you will die of starvation, by the way. But if you're able and capable of staying alive with what water you have, then you got to look at the food and people going hungry and everything else. These are things that you need to be prepared for. People telling you that now. Be prepared. 90-day reprieve. Do whatever you want to our power grid. Do whatever country you are. Have at it. Ain't a good thing. Again, I'll give you that all that link. You can watch it yourself. Even the press secretary for Biden could not answer the questions to this it posed to them by reporters. She could not answer it. By not being able to answer it or not wanting to, might be she didn't just want to because and she didn't know how to answer it because she didn't want to answer it. And not answering and not having words to uh, uh, actually back up what was going on and why it happened could be speaking volumes. Goodbye, idiot. If you could come in here and speak properly and uh, 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 announce your views in a respectful manner, you can stay. But when you are disrespectful, you will go away. I don't care. I didn't ask you to come here. I appreciate the ones that do come here. I really do. I appreciate everybody. But if you want to be disrespectful, that ain't the way to go with me. I have had people come in here, nice, respectful, and had hours worth of conversation with them and not have a problem. And they had totally different views than I did. I didn't have a problem with that. If you want to talk to me like that, you wait until I do a StreamYards. Then you can talk to me like that all you want. Told you all that. But to be ignorant when I'm actually giving out proper news and got the proof to back it up, that shows you how ignorant and moronic and stupid you are. That question was asked and presented to her in that link at the White House as she was doing a press secretary's job. I would give at least 10 days on that Desert Goat before you see total realization of panic. It will start probably before then in small pockets, yes. But I would give at least 10 days for total realization of panic. Because people have somewhat took heed and warning to make sure they have something. So I generally don't give numbers like that unless it's something, especially to do with something like that, if I haven't realized what has happened in the past and known and been part of what is some of the stuff that's happened in the past. And know what can and will happen in them cases. I agree with you on that, Redneck Rebel. I do agree with you on that. Biden, left and right, is setting the United States up for failure. He's saying he's bringing them into non-failure. I don't see it. I see nothing but failure all the way around. Yes, I agree, Desert Goat. I agree. uh, go. I would say the perfect things to have, especially if you're going to go off into the woods, is have a carbon steel knife that was not oil quenched. You want a water quenched carbon steel knife. Oil quench will not allow it to spark properly. And a piece of flint that will strike when you strike it with that non-oil quench knife, it'll throw a spark. That'll cause a fire for you. Believe me, you're gonna want that fire. Especially this time of year. The chilly. You know what I mean? Well, I don't think so, Redneck Rebel. I heard I had to learn to speak uh, Spanish and the Mexican language, and I ain't learned it yet. I've learned a few words here and there. That's it. I don't have to learn shit when it comes to that. Another thing, Arizona is making new state laws and things like that as we speak right now to become a Second Amendment sanctuary state. Several cities have already made themselves Second Amendment sanctuary states. Uh, that because they're also afraid of what Biden's going to do with the Second Amendment, because he's already bragging again. How he got hundreds of thousands of guns off the streets with high capacity magazines, and how he was able to put bans on certain high capacity magazines. He's already bragging about it on freaking national news. And you got these idiots that are bragging that are saying, "Well, that's unconstitutional for the people that live in that area in the area that they made these Second Amendment sanctuaries." Here's what I say to that: if you're against the Constitution, move to D.C. They're pretty much against it. Have fun. They don't like guns there, but I'll tell you now, a lot of outlaws have guns in D.C. Just saying. Awesome. That's good, sci-fi. Good, Raccoon Man. That's good. That's very good, man. Awesome, Redneck Rebel. That is freaking awesome. I think every state should be allowing that at this point in time at the rate things are going. They should, every state should have that right now. So I just wanted to let you know there are people out there looking out for your Second Amendment, but there's people opposing them and trying to say it's unconstitutional. There is nothing stated in the Constitution that if you own a gun, that it is a constitutional right of a person uh, to be there to be afraid of you. There's nothing saying that, but there is constitutional right and God-given right to own a gun to protect yourself with, as you see fit, when it comes to protecting your life, liberty, and property. Uh, yeah, I agree with that, Raccoon. I agree with that. Good, sci-fi, good. I can tell you now, the Midwest is a big difference from Florida. If you went to the swamps down there, guarantee you there's a lot of different plants down there. Guarantee you there's a lot of swamp down there. Guarantee you it's an entirely different living down there, sci-fi. So if you get forced there, you might want to learn how to live there as well. Just to let you know. Not trying to be a dick, bringing reality. Yes, that's so true, Raccoon Man. I'm not trying to be a dickhead at all. I'm trying to say you can know how to live in the Midwest, which is great, and I appreciate your ability to do so. But if you get pushed or you have to remove yourself from a situation, put yourself in another situation, like having to go into swamp areas, which there are swamp areas, I might add, in the Midwest. It's an entirely different way of life. It's an entirely different way of living. It's an entirely different things to eat, and so on and so forth. So, well, that's well and good. That's very well and good sci-fi. You can be in every state. Does that mean you can survive in every state? No, it don't. Now, a lot of them survival techniques that can and are able to pile over. But when you're looking at entirely different plants to use for what you're going to have to use once the rope ain't there, once the everything else ain't there, that's man-made and synthetic. Once that's all gone, what are you going to use? What plants would you use down in Florida to make a rope? Repeat the info on the title again, please. Biden Biden gave a 90-day reprieve to any country in the world to mess with our dang power grid. It's open game right now. Our power grid is open game. No repercussions, no nothing for 90 days. There's a lot better than palm frond to use. Palm frond will break pretty easily, actually, even twined together. YouTube watcher. Now, palm frond makes great fire. Yes, Wrecking Man, you are correct. You are correct. That's why I keep saying, what happens if you get pushed somewhere? What are you going to do? What knowledge do you have of the area? Um, palm fronds, they break down. I'm not arguing with you. They break down. Yes, you can make a string out of palm fronds, but in about 3 days it'll be totally useless down in the swamps of Florida because it'll break down and keep breaking down and keep breaking down and keep breaking down and keep breaking down. Bear grass makes a good rope. It don't break down like that. I'll leave that up to you to find out what bear grass is. Makes better rope. Just telling you there, YouTube watcher. You can Google that. Vine makes great stuff until it dries out. YouTube watcher. Now, if you have already wrapped something with that and that stuff dries out, it'll clench down on that stuff and hold it tight. But to keep unwinding it and using it and unwinding it and using it, it'll break on you rather quickly once it dries out. Just saying. Hey, Storm Country Guy. Yeah, but what if you're all fresh out of hemp? That's what I'm getting at, Raccoon Man. Not too many people have hemp farms. You know what I mean? uh, so not too many people have those. Yes, sir. I'm doing good, Storm Country gal. I'm doing good. But yes, hemp is a very good rope. It's also a very heavy ass rope. uh, but it makes a great rope. Great rope. But like I said, if you're fresh out of hemp, you can find bear grass anywhere in the swamps and down in Florida and down in Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, and parts of Texas, Alabama, North Carolina, South Carolina. It grows in parts of those states. Oh, I know that, Raccoon. Oh, believe me, I know that, Raccoon. Believe me, I know that. That cracked me up. You never know what grows in the swamp. That cracked me up, bro. That was a good one. Have you ever picked up a hemp rope? I have. You get a hemp rope the size of of let's say a thousand tensile strength rope, man-made synthetic fiber versus bear grass, then versus hemp. Uh, Hemp is heavy as hell. Bear grass is lighter than hemp on the same tensile strength. It's a lot lighter. And then your man-made synthetics are even lighter than that. But like I said, the man-made synthetics, especially exposed to elements, rots very quickly, especially the sun. Cool. Now take that rope, that same rope, make yourself some rope out of bear grass, the same size, and take the same tensile strength rope out of and make it out of man-made fibers, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Hemp is very heavy. It's very dense, very dense. Dude, I drink more shine in them damn swamps than I have anywhere else. I'll tell you that now, Raccoon Man. And I had some of the best when I went over to Louisiana. So I know exactly what the hell you talking about there, Raccoon Man. And guess what that shine's also good for? Uh uh you cut yourself, it'll clean out a cut real good too. It'll burn that infection right out of that cut. It's gonna hurt though. I'll tell you that now. It's gonna be worse than even alcohol if you pour it down in there. I'm talking rubbing alcohol. I agree, Storm Country. Now I do agree with that. Now, I ain't saying don't use that man-made synthetic rope to start with, but I'm saying, or even a hemp rope or whatever. I'm just saying know your limitations because that man-made synthetic fiber will break down rather quickly in the elements. Sun is really damaging to man-made synthetic fibers because they're made out of types of plastic which have oil in them, which the sun will bake that oil out of it, and then it starts breaking down and starts becoming brittle and dry rot really quick, really easy. So I just these are things that I'm just wanting y'all to know. Is I care for y'all. Okay, you may not think it. I care for the United States as a whole. Even anything with nylon in it ain't worth a crap. YouTube watch. It ain't just that plastic yellow rope. I'm telling you that now. Anything with synthetic fibers is crap. After about, I'll get it's depending on which part of the United States, like down in Florida, where there's a lot of sun and a lot of dampness. That shit is going to break down in about 5 to 6 months. Up where Sci-Fi Bry is, it might last a year. I've had all three Storm Country Gallon and none of them are bad. I've even had peach and strawberry. Oh, you said peach, excuse me. You've got blackberry, peach. You want to try watermelon? I've tried watermelon. I've had strawberry. I've had kiwi. They all ain't too bad. Just saying. But I just want y'all to think about this. When you have a 90-day screw with our electrical grid, uh, uh, that could be a bad thing. It could be a real bad thing. Just like you know. In 10 days, I'll guarantee you, you're going to see mass panic in a street if our power grid's shut down that long. 10 days. You ain't got nothing more than that. And that awning cord, it might last about a year. It's all right. Well, I'm trying to get you to understand there's natural stuff out there that's everywhere. Uh, yeah, YouTube watcher, you're right. It also equals no water being pumped. It equals Winn-Dixie shutting their doors because they can't keep their food fresh. Uh, so on and so forth. What happens when Winn-Dixie or Tops or whatever shuts their doors because they have no electricity to keep food fresh? People that know how to get food, they're well off. That's good. That's well good. There'll be thousands that won't know at all. And them are the people that are scary. When they start seeing their children hungry and their children are begging for food, do some pretty fucked up shit. When they get so hungry that they need to eat something, they'll do some pretty fucked up shit. I would say, so you have some type of electricity for $120 if you got it. Um, the what is that? Harbor Freight has a small little solar panel thing. It was great for when I lived on the boat. Um, but it's enough to keep a battery charged, and then it has a little inverter that'll invert that power to where it'll charge your phone. It'll charge. That. It's got little jacks to where you can charge your phone. You can charge different things like that. It also gives you, they also give you a light, things like that. Uh, I would suggest replacing the light they give you with a red light. If you can get a red colored light. So, them are all well and good, but to start getting, solar wind ain't so much, helpful. Regular wind can be. Uh, Solar wind's hard to harness, uh, in a survival state. You can get wind to help you. You can get, water to help you. I knew a guy who had a boat that he had made a paddle wheeler type thing out of it. Um, and that paddle wheeler, because of the current of the water constantly turning that paddle wheel, it produced electricity very well for him. And all he did was have an alternator. But you still got to have that inverter or something that will run off of battery power. So, remember that. I wouldn't trust it no more than a year, YouTube. Honestly, that's me. I really don't trust that. It trusts synthetic fibers in a survival state. Just saying. No, you're fine, YouTube. You're fine. You ain't bothering me not one bit, buddy. You know that. See, but you know, you're coming in here, you're being respectful with your belief, and I don't mind that, man. I don't mind that. Right? There you go, Storm Country guy. As long as you, here's the biggest thing with a paddle wheel type thing. Uh, you can sit there as long as you have a pulley system. You got your water moving the paddle wheel, turning it. Okay. As long as you got a system where you got a way to, catch the rotation and put it into a alternator or generator of some kind, uh, and it's turning that to make that to produce the electricity. That's all you need. So just to let you know, it's not. I mean, you can do it that simple. That's how simple his was. He used he used a paddle wheel. He put a little, rod that he, connected a pulley from a fan off of a car to it. Ran a fan belt to a stationary, alternator, which in turn, as that was turning, it was turning the alternator and making electricity for him that went right into the battery, charged the battery, and then he, had an inverter that he could run stuff off of. Went really well for him. Did very good. He also was able and capable to use that on a pump too. He, was able to. He had a, water pump close, where he was able to use that as a way to pump the pump. Make it go up and down and bring water up out of the, up for him through the, instead of hand pumping it. So yeah, he was really smart, if you ask me. Uh, he showed me that. It worked very well for him for 10.5 years, and then he passed away. Uh, so, and then his kids just let it go to rot. wheel was made of wood, made it out of wood. They just let it rot away, never used it again. So, and that's what happened to that. There are ways to make things work pretty easy. Um, I'm just letting you know, there are things out there that can help you. I'm trying to be as helpful as I can. I'm not trying to be a dickhead to anybody. I love Sci-Fi Bry, and I know he knows I love him. I think of him as a brother. I wished I had a chance to meet him because he's a great guy. I wouldn't have taken the time to explain certain things to him if I didn't think he was worth it as well. And if I didn't think anybody else was worth it, I wouldn't be on here talking to you all about different little things that I know and how different little things can work. I don't care what stupidity and things like that in the past that we had going on. Uh, Problems we're facing are way bigger than any stupid little minute trivial bullshit that any of us has ever seen or talked about. There you go, Storm Country Girl, and that sucks. There are diagrams on the internet right now where you can convert a gas burning truck into uh, a truck that you can use wood to make the gases to make it combust. Uh, there's you got to be able to set it up right. As a matter of fact, I've seen those trucks 3 or 4 times at Go Green uh, things. I saw a Go Green. I went to a Go Green thing in Arkansas. This guy had a Dodge Ram Dakota, or not a Dodge Ram, but a Dodge Dakota. That he converted that thing to where he didn't use gas except enough to start the truck. Once the truck was started, he converted it. It all went over to the wood burning part of it, and he burnt wood, and he'd get up to 50, 60 mile an hour in that truck by burning wood and letting it combust off the gases that the wood made when it was being burned. So, here's what brought me to seeing to speaking about this YouTube. Here you go. Uh, that that lady was asked straight up about that, and she couldn't answer it. There you go. There's the wood powered truck. Yep, that was one of them. That's right. YouTube. You're welcome, YouTube. That would have been cool as heck, Storm Country Gal. That would have been cool as heck. I'm telling you that now. Sounded like that'd be quite an interesting thing to me. Um, just to let you know. I have no idea about hydroponics for or hydroponics, hydromechanics. I should say for doing anything with water for you. All right, YouTube, no problem. So You know, I just I don't understand doing any water stuff. I comprehended the wood burning stuff and things like that. I do know they've been working on a car for a while that would burn water. They had one that was actually getting up to 55 mile an hour. It could go from Miami, Florida to Jacksonville on a teaspoon and a half of water at 55 mile an hour. That was pretty good. But now, and that was even all over the news back in the day, everything. Now they ain't got it. They ain't got it on the news no more. Welcome back, YouTube. And you don't hear about him working on that anymore or anything else like that. Makes you wonder what happened to that. There you go, Storm. Yeah, Storm Country Guy. I don't know. I have no idea. That really is quite an interesting concept. I don't know, YouTube watcher. I all I know is it just disappeared off the face of the earth. And even if the man was killed, why wasn't the research kept going? It was already almost near completion. I mean, why wouldn't that keep going? Just curious, you know. Uh, there are questions that quite interesting to me. But oh yeah, I'm sure Big Oil had quite a bit to do with that. If that's the case, there, uh, YouTube watcher, I'm almost positive Big Oil had something to do with that. Monster Java can't live with that. No, I was joking. I can live without that. I don't need it. You're right, Storm Country Gal. Especially when all you needed it was a teaspoon and a half of water to go from Miami to Jacksonville. That's a pretty good little jump. When normally that's about a tank of gas at about a 25-gallon tank. So just saying. But but yeah, I would like for y'all to watch that if you are interested in that link. Good link to good things to consider where you stand and consider what can be done and can't, where you're at, what you know, how you know. I'm just trying to be. I'm just trying to be as helpful as I can be. You know. Yep, that's a pretty good little trip. You're right, YouTube watcher. Miami to Jacksonville at the speed limit. It is a trip. That's almost the full length of Florida. Did you go up Route One, or did you go up, or did you, uh, yeah, no problem, YouTube man, no problem. Oh, you went up 95. Okay. I was going to say, I know Route 1's a lot longer than 8 hours because you got all the traffic lights, you got all the extra traffic and everything else that you got to deal with going up through there. Uh, that's why I was asking. But 95, yeah, you could probably do it in about 8 hours. Yeah, depending on the traffic and the load of traffic that's there. I did it. I did it once. That's all I cared to do it. YouTube watcher. That's what I was saying. It took me about 13 and a half hours to go up Route 1. And I made sure to do as much as I could at night. So the traffic wasn't so bad. Oh yeah, I don't want to do that again anytime soon. Not driving that shit. No. I do what you did, 95, buddy. uh, but all right, guys. I just thought that was something that was that could interest you. Yeah, there you go. There you go, country girl. Actually, Route 1 is a major state route. It's not really a country road. It is a major state route that goes right up the east coast of Florida. And there's a town about every 5 to 10 miles on it. But it's stoplights, traffic, a lot of idiot morons that don't know how to drive. uh, it's and But the reason I did it is I did want to see what all was there. What type of shops at the time. Shit like that. It was. I was still a tourist then. So that tells you that was years ago. That's about 93, 94. I'd say I did that. And the traffic wasn't near as heavy as it is to or was up to the COVID. And right, that's the only reason I was really doing it was sightseeing it, just to see what was there. I didn't really stop at anything, but I was just sightseeing it. And it's cool to see the ocean. There's places where Route 1's right next to the ocean. Right up next to the Atlantic. It's actually pretty cool that way. And yeah, and it never gets very far away from the ocean at all. There you go, Storm Country. Yeah, I've been in that. I've been in that situation too. Honestly, I have. But on that note, guys, I'm going to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, whichever the case may be. I may be back later on tonight. I may be back tomorrow. We'll see. Uh, let's see what type of info we get going on. And I hope that everything keeps going as good as it can for you. I know it's tough. Y'all, I thank y'all for being here. Um, I thank y'all for taking your time to be here. And I am out.